And I see in your credits here you did an episode of Outer Limits called Regeneration Season 3,
Mhm.
which Brad and Jonathan were
Yep.
running at the time. Did that lead into Stargate SG-1 at all, or did they
Um,
not have to do with each other at all?
well, I know Jonathan going way back. So I guess they have something to do with, but if I'd done a bad job, I guess it would have ended right there. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'm grateful to Jonathan but he was like, hey, I'm doing this new show based on the movie, and I'd gone to the pilot premiere. They did the kind of a movie length pilot for the show, and
Yeah.
that had been to the screening and liked it and told him so. And he just said, "Hey, we have room for a couple freelance episodes because they got as their initial order was 44.
Yep.
Back then, 22 was a typical season for television, which is kind of rare now, except not even in network shows. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But to get 44 was just crazy. So he had a lot of episodes to fill up. And they did, he and Brad both. But so I said, yeah, I'd love to. And so, I thought up a couple things, and I don't remember what else I pitched. This might have been all I pitched uh, to them. But yeah, and then I went on to do it. I was on another show after that, and then next year, so Weird Shot, and I was on their sitcom. So it kind of, because of their shooting schedule, kind of slotted nicely in between seasons of the TV that I was already working on.
Where did the nugget for Cor-ai begin? Did it begin, watching Teal'c save all of these refugees going over the hill on Chulak? Where did this idea come from?
Well,
I am dying to know.
it's interesting. I have to go into the Wayback Machine a little bit, of course, to think about it. But I do have, oh, and I have to say this. I rewatched the episode obviously because it had been a while, but then I looked back from my original script, and I probably did a couple drafts, but I have a draft of it, and it was written in Microsoft Word because because a long time ago,
Yeah.
in a galaxy far, far away, nobody used Final Draft yet, or
Yep.
the other program at the time was Screenwriter. They were really nascent programs at that point, and nobody was, it was certainly not the standard. So you would use Word, but with, little things to make it, jump from dialogue to description and stuff. So whatever.
Wacky
Uh,
formatting.
yeah, happy formatting. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. So I had to actually translate it forward into the modern version of Microsoft Office, and there's some formatting issues. I'm not sure it's really publishable at this point, but in any case, the it came from character. The idea. So I'm looking at the show, and I probably at that point had I'd obviously seen the pilot, and I don't remember if how far into shooting they were. Not far, probably. I probably read another script or two, but that's it. But I knew the characters, and so I thought, well, science fiction is, of course, often a morality tale of some sort. It's a way to use metaphor and stuff in storytelling that's one of the fun things about it, because you can it's not doesn't have to be that way, but it often is. But I thought what was interesting about the character of Teal'c is that he's a bad guy who became a good guy. And we love redemption tales, right? We that's a staple of storytelling in any genre, or just in writing in general. But I thought there was a little more to it than that, because I thought, well, if they'll do an episode like this, that would be pretty cool, because I thought he's a bad guy who became a good guy, but there are a lot of planets out there that still think of him as a bad guy. And I thought, what if you did an episode in which they run headlong into that without, anticipating it, and he has to answer for his sins. And it isn't just about Teal'c, of course, because he's not the lead in the episode. He's one of the team. But I thought it was a way for, in particular, O'Neill to have to slam into the are we the good guys or not? You know the meme that goes around from the old Michelin Web show, Are We the Baddies? That's what this was. The idea that we're always the good guys and that we only we tell ourselves that we're on the side of right is, I mean, we like to think that, and I think it's often true, but war does messed up things to good guys and bad guys, and sometimes that line isn't a line at all. It's just a big blur. And I thought it would be interesting to do that, and for O'Neill really that what the episode is about is O'Neill. Who the episode is about is O'Neill. It's about him confronting whether or not he's a good guy. And so that's what is, but I thought, you've got this character who that's what you could explore with it, that and to not do that would seem almost like you're just not going to talk about this over there. He's now one of us. But O'Neill just, and I'm, Teal'c's kind of character, like when he's confronted with this, he accepts it. He's got this sense of honor that O'Neill, it's like, but we're fellow soldiers, we've all done things, but there was a line in the script that I don't know if it's in the episode. I don't think so, but it's in the episode in spirit, in which he says basically, he's defending Teal'c in front of in front
The
of the
Byrsa, yeah.
yeah, the Byrsa, and he says, it's easy for you and I to do the right thing because we were lucky enough to be born on the side on the right side, on the side of right, on the side of the good guys, he says. But he had to invent his own conscience, basically. So he's making this, so it's this assumption that O'Neill is proceeding from that. And Teal'c keeps going, no, no, no. And it just frustrates the hell out of him because it upsets him. There's the scene in later in the episode when they go to Hammond and he's like, we got it. Come on, you got to let me come in and rescue him. This is ridiculous. And Hammond says, but he's a war criminal.
And he's not technically a citizen.
Yeah, he's not technically a citizen, but it's the war criminal part that Teal'c just gets enraged at.
Yeah.
Because if Teal'c is a war criminal, then maybe I am too. And he doesn't want to think about that. So I don't know, the moral ambiguity, it's all of the arguments. I was just following orders. We're on the side of the good guys. Sometimes things happen. He's changed. None of it matters because talk is cheap. He did that thing, and unless he's forgiven by the people he did it to, none of your words matter. So
when I go back and I watch this, my favorite scene is when O'Neill asks the Byrsa guards to leave the Cor-ai chamber, and he starts talking with Teal'c one-on-one. He's like, "Okay, just level with me. Why are you doing this? What's going on here?" And Teal'c eventually says to him, "This case represents the many for me." And O'Neill shouts at him, "Well, it shouldn't, because at that moment in O'Neill's mind, O'Neill is on trial just as much as Teal'c is."
The whole thing is that's why he's so mad about it.
Yeah. And O'Neill knows that were he dropped into certain countries on Earth, the exact same thing would happen to him. Yeah. And one of my favorite lines from the show is, I've spent many years in the service of my country, and I've been ordered to do some damn distasteful things. And it's like, this is where this guy is, I think that's one of the reasons that he has such a strong tie to Teal'c, because he understands the sacrifice that Teal'c made and where he came from before in having to do things that he doesn't agree with morally, but he's forced to do them by his society for a greater good. The moral ambiguity in this episode, it's really strong. And
and I think it's why I think it's why Christopher Judge is so good. I mean, he was really good in the episode. I will have to say, I think it's one of his strongest episodes. And I'm not saying it because I wrote it. I'm saying it because of his performance. You have to remember season one, like actors are still finding their characters. It takes a while to go, okay, what are the strengths and weaknesses? What am I? And, he's very good at playing that stoic thing. And, the comic relief of that stoic thing even evolves later, than much more than in the first season. And it becomes not always funny, but he minds it for that. But confronting, we used to say this thing in some writers' rooms that I was in, and that thing was backstory sucks. And now we said that because I don't care what happened. What's he doing right now? What's he saying right now? That's what matters for the character. Now, of course, that's not the way we write, and certainly actors want to know, what am I bringing with me when I come into this scene?
What's my baggage?
Well, what's my baggage? What's my well, the word act is in actor. What's my action? Like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
What do I have that I want, don't want, whatever. So yes, backstory is important, but when you make a thing and you are watching it, you're not watching backstory. You're watching what they're doing and saying, and the trial is about that. All the backstory that they keep saying, he did this nice thing for me and he helped the orphans out of the bus and like whatever. The Byrsa don't care. They don't care. It's not relevant to you did this thing, now you pay for that thing you did.
Thanks for watching this clip from Dial the Gate. You can find the full live stream shows on our YouTube channel or visit dialthegate.com for the complete schedule. See you on the other side.